of the vice president. All right, we're looking for the answer to the super question this morning. How many minutes are in a day? 215-263-WMMR, the number. And our first caller in is Chris. So we're going to go to Chris. Hey, Chris, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, buddy, how many minutes in a day?
1,440.
Nice.
Is that one of the time spans mentioned in the song from Rent?
No.
Okay.
5,000, wait.
500,000, 525,600 minutes. That's the only way I can say that number.
Chris.
That's in a year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Chris, hang on. We're going to set you up with pair of tickets. See Smashing Pumpkins. It's the Spirits on Fire tour, Jane's Addiction, and Poppy. This is tomorrow night at the Wells Fargo Center, and tickets are on sale now at wellsfargocenterphilly.com. All right, we're going to start with this. Actor Anna Faris recalled not only a negative experience working with Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman, but that Reitman inappropriately touched her on the set of My Super Ex-Girlfriend. She'd recently recounted the abusive behavior on set, which left her feeling humiliated and angry, and she was talking to actor Lena Dunham on her Unqualified podcast. I have the I can read this, but we have a clip of this.
Yeah, the two clips.
Okay, let's go with the first one, being mistreated. Here we go.
One of my hardest film experiences was with Ivan Reitman. I mean, the idea of attempting to make a comedy under this like reign of terror. He was a yeller. He would bring down somebody every day. And my first day, it was me.
And then she goes on to talk about, well, let me hear what this clip is. Hang on, here's the second one.
He slapped my ass.
What?
That was a weird moment. I felt angry and hurt. I did have like 30 people around me, I think expecting me to do something, and I didn't.
Before the ass slapping thing, she said, my first scene was a fight sequence with Uma Thurman. It was just the beginning of it, and we did the rest of the fight much later, but it was really hard. It was New York. It was winter, and I was wearing a red wig, and right before I'm in hair and makeup, and my hair lady knocked over a big jar of wig glue. She said it was like a quart, and it was this massive spill. She had to clean it up. It was on this Yves Saint Laurent sweater, and there was so much glue that it made her late for the set.
Right.
She said, I was terrified. It was my first day, and I was feeling that Ivan was going to think I'm some kind of diva that shows up late on purpose. Well, in the middle of the street, he said he started taking me down. She said he started yelling at her and was like, Annie. She said he would call me Annie. And he's like, you can't play like that around here. It's not like that. And he was yelling at her, and she was telling herself, don't cry, don't cry. And she felt angry and hurt. Eventually, I said, did no one tell you what happened? And at that point, he just kind of shut up and then went behind the camera. And then later on, that ass-slapping thing had happened. And so she said, I can't believe some of the crap that I've survived and done and seen. Faris said, sometimes, like with that incident, I'm still of that generation and the mentality of, how to calibrate that element. And on one hand, it wasn't anything, whatever, my ass is fine. On the other hand, it was I did have 30 people around me expecting me to do something, and I didn't do anything. So she regrets that.
So that's sad, and it's sad to hear that. And, if that's the case in her memory of that. I've never heard that. I always heard that Ivan Reitman was a kind of a sweetheart and good stuff, so it's kind of shocking to hear this.
Yeah, yep. This was pretty wild to hear, too. Matthew Perry has opened up more about his struggles with alcohol and drug addiction for years. He didn't, you remember him saying he didn't remember filming multiple seasons of Friends.
Yes, yeah.
He said somewhere between season 3 and 6 because he was so out of it at the time. But despite the fact that he cleaned up and was sober throughout season 9, he would unfortunately go on to relapse several more times. All told, the 53-year-old actor has been in rehab 15 times. He reveals this in his upcoming memoir, called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. His last battle with opioid addiction a few years ago was so serious, he almost died from it.
So he also has had issues with brain bleeds. You remember at least 2 of those where he was in a bad way. Well, I hope he's good now.
I hope so.
Yeah, and this book's going to be have a lot of interesting things in it. So when he was 49, he says he suffered from a gastrointestinal perforation after his colon burst from opioid overuse. As a result, he spent 5 months hospitalized, including 2 weeks when he was in a coma.
Whoa.
And was forced to use a colostomy bag for 9 months. So he had that hanging out of his gut for 9 months. And this is when he was 49. He's only 53. It was just a handful of years ago.
He looks much older.
So he said, the doctor told my family that I had a 2% chance to live. I was put on this thing called an ECMO machine, which does all the breathing for your heart and your lungs. And that's called the Hail Mary. Like, no one survives that. But
This device is called the Tecmo? What was it?
ECMO. ECMO. Tecmo. Super Bowl. No, but he did survive. In fact, he discloses that he was one of 5 people put on an ECMO machine that night and the only one to live.
Wow.
And now he wants to share his story in hopes that he might help others that are struggling. So he said, so the big question is, why? Why was I the one? There has to be some kind of reason.
I hope this marks a turnaround.
While he prefers not to disclose how long he's currently been sober, he does still count each day. He said it's important, but if you lose your sobriety, it doesn't mean that you lose all the time in education. He says your sober date changes, but that's all that changes. You know everything you knew before. As long as you were able to fight your way back without dying, you learn a lot. And it seems as though sobriety is going to stick this time, as Perry says that he has a couple of stark reminders to keep him from using again, including the ever-present scars from his stomach surgeries or the looming threat of needing to permanently use a colostomy bag. He had 14 surgeries on his stomach so far.
Yeah, so here's the deal. That's ultimately what took my father was a perforation in his abdomen.
Right.
And unfortunately, we were left with the decision on whether or not to explore it because they didn't know where it was.
Right.
And then ultimately, like, he had already had cancer and he didn't have much time anyway.
Jesus.
And so the surgery, the exploratory surgery would have taken, they told us, 9 months to recover from that. And, it was just no way to go. Like, that, it's just no joke because if he had a perforation, that's fine. They don't know where it is.
Where it's coming from, yeah.
Right, and there's a lot of material to go through to find that.
You talk about all the times he's been through rehab there, Preston. Tom Felton, who we just talked to, he actually, when he was first considering going into it, his agent kind of gave him the come to Jesus speech. He said, listen, I've been an agent in this town for this many years. I've gone to about 12 interventions. Half the people that I attended their interventions are now dead.
It sucks. I mean,
So,
the statistics are staggering, especially for opioid dependence and people who have been addicted to opiates, especially when you graduate to the injectables and all that stuff. It's
tough.
And you hear the stats and you want to go, oh, it's not going to be me, man. I'm going to be one of the surviving.
Well, somebody's filling up those slots.
Somebody is.
By the way, his impetus to stop taking drugs, he said, my therapist said, the next time you think about taking OxyContin, just think about having a colostomy bag for the rest of your life. He said, and a little window opened, and I crawled through it, and I no longer want OxyContin anymore.
That's awesome.
So hopefully he'll be able to stick with that. All right. Is Olivia Wilde's special salad dressing recipe really Nora Ephron's? The Don't Worry, Darling director appeared to lean into her ex-nanny's story by providing an excerpt from Ephron's autobiography, Heartburn, on her Instagram stories on Tuesday.
So the story was that Olivia Wilde left to bring her salad dressing to Harry Styles, and that was the beginning of the end with her relationship to Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, she was bringing him in a salad, and she made this special salad dressing, and Jason was worried about that.
And
This is so insane.
The salad dressing is from a book about divorce.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so this Nora Ephron book is about her divorce from Bernstein.
Okay. So according to the text, the dressing is made by combining 2 tablespoons of Grey Poupon mustard with 2 tablespoons of good red wine vinegar. While whisking with a fork, you add 6 tablespoons of olive oil until the vinaigrette is creamy. Gang, that's a standard. Standard made-at-home salad
Got
dressing.
to bring this to Harry.
Yeah. So that's why I don't think it's the special one.
No.
I think this is just a standard vinaigrette.
Wait, but she posted a picture of the page from the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
So
book, yeah.
yeah. But I think there's probably a joke between her and Jason Sudeikis that she was probably like, oh, this is the divorce salad dressing. So when she went over to make it for him, that was him saying, oh, crap, this is the divorce dressing.
I'm not following what you're saying, but okay. Efron continued, word is it's good for greens like arugula, watercress, and endive. Wilde and Jason Sudeikis' former nanny recently told the Daily Mail that he had thrown himself under the back of Wilde's car because he was distraught over preparing a salad with their special dressing for Harry Styles.
I don't care how distraught I am with somebody. I will not use my own body to block the motion of a car.
You might catch them when their emotions are high.
Yeah, on
and
the
say,
off
"F
chance
it."
that they're really into salad that night.
Yeah, he might have been drunk. And so the Daily Mail has uncovered a ton of texts between Jason and the nanny.
And the CEO of Salad Works.
And not the CEO of... Well, I don't know who was... but I know it was Jason and the nanny. And...
Fran Drescher.
Well, not her either. No, their actual nanny. But apparently he was confiding in her all sorts of stuff. And I was like, they've got to have some sort of NDA. But I guess the Daily Mail said, we'll pay out your NDA. And
There's also
and a whole bunch. Yeah, because the Daily Mail's all over this.
I don't know. I don't know. It seems so stupid. They're divorced or they're getting... That's all done. The nanny's, blabbing and it's salad dressing. It's one of the dumbest stories I've ever heard.
They're also denying the laying behind the car thing now.
They're
So
denying all this
out,
stuff.
they're calling out the nanny that she's lying.
By the way, they're calling in, though, the super nanny. Jill Frost has weighed in on this. Do you want to hear what she has to say?
please.
Here we go.
I'm outraged and I'm disappointed when you hire a nanny. You hire the importance of their service, their expertise, their dedication, and their integrity. It's not okay.
All right, so
I agree
she's
with
saying
1,000%.
talk. Yeah.
Right. You are there. You are under the employ of these people, and it is your obligation, whether you signed an NDA or not, to keep that stuff to yourself.
Yep. And she goes on talking
Blabbermouth nanny.
talking about needing house staff support.
This nanny needs to mind her own business, to learn the importance of boundaries. Divorce, separation is emotionally very tough on the entire family. It's one where we must address with sensitivity.
By the way, I love her. I love Jill Frost. She's adorable.
And what she's basically saying is...
Yeah, exactly.
In other
exactly.
words.
Yep. All right, some other stories to get to. So would you pay nearly $100 for an eye cream from Jared Leto? Page Six reports the Joker star is set to launch 29 Palms, a range of gender-neutral products and for skin, hair, and body, coming out on the 25th.
I think the laughable notion that anything that he uses to look better would work on me.
Yeah.
Fans can expect to pay anywhere from $39 for cleanser to $97 for eye cream.
No.
This story is sweet. Ga Hui Kwan, that's how you pronounce his name, who played Short Round.
He's great.
From Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. On Wednesday, was interviewed by the New York Times, and he shared an excerpt of an interview that he conducted, that this interviewer did with Ga. He said about a sweet moment shared with him and Harrison Ford at the D23 Expo. So in September, Kwan got lots of internet love for pictures showing his reunion with Ford. He had captioned the photo, I love you, Indy. Indiana Jones and Short Round reunited after 38 years. And now he's explaining the special moment, how that came to be. He said, we were at the D23 event, and I was told Harrison was going to be there. We were in this green room with so many actors, producers, and directors. And the person who was assigned to assist me said, Harrison Ford is right outside the green room. Would you like to go and say hi? And I'm thinking, well, of course. I haven't seen him in 38 years.
It's got to be crazy.
He said, so when I walk out and I see him about 15 feet away, he was talking to Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and they're there to promote Indy 5. And as I walk close, my heart is pounding, and I'm thinking, is he going to recognize me? I mean, the last time he saw me, I was a little kid. Kwan needn't have worried. He said, as I got closer, he turns and he points his finger at me, and he has this classic, famous, grumpy Harrison Ford look. And he said, I'll go, oh, my gosh, he probably thinks I'm a fan, and he's going to tell me not to come near him. But he looks at me and points at me, and he says, are you Short Round? And immediately I was transported back to 1984 when I was a little kid, and he said to him, yes, Indy. He called him Indy.
Oh, my God.
And he said, come here, and he gave him a big hug.
So during this thing, remember, there were reports on it that, and we had audio when he was talking, Harrison Ford actually got emotional bidding goodbye to that character. But that's awesome.
His reunion with Ford may remain one of the highlights of this already banner year for him. He said,
Leave me alone.
You know what you did.
You know what you did on that set.
He said,
I'll never forgive you.
when I wrapped my arms around him, all those wonderful memories I had on the set came flooding back. It felt so comfortable. It was amazing. And he's an amazing man, one of the most generous men on the planet.
That would have been a cool movie. People are divided on Temple of Doom. I happen to love it, but the sets, those practical sets of the cave system and all that stuff, had to be really cool if you were a kid.
Yep. I thought that was a super, super sweet story.
It's awesome.
I love that. All right, this is pretty fun as well. We may know him best for his voracious appetite for cookies, but it turns out the Cookie Monster isn't actually his real name.
Oh, what?
The Sesame Street star, who has been on our screen since 1969, has long gone by a moniker linked to his favorite food, but a tweet sharing his actual name has sparked a massive social media reaction. By the way, he's a great follow on Twitter.
Yeah.
Taking some time from devouring chocolate chip cookies to hop online, the Muppet had posted on Twitter writing, "Did you know me name is Sid? But
Wait.
me still like to be called Cookie Monster."
Hang on. We have Cookie Monster Sid song.
Okay, so the revelation, and I'll explain. The revelation that the fuzzy blue puppet has an actual human name has clearly been a sweet treat for people, with the post picking up more than 40,000 likes and thousands of comments. Plenty of memes were shared in reaction to the post, with commenters ranging from "What? I never knew, and I did not know this. Sid is a cool name," to others. So although Sid has revealed his name before in a song in 2004.
That's where it comes from then.
And later in an interview in 2017, it clearly has gone under the radar considering the reaction. So we have that song?
Yeah,
All right.
from years ago.
Here we go.
The first time making cookie.
And the song was 2014, you said?
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
Because I know Snuffleupagus' original name was Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, he changed
And
that.
they good call. They didn't know it at that time, but they thought it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, so it kind of took the internet by storm. Let's see here. Jonah Hill is taking a swing at his sportiest role yet by playing legendary golfer John Daly.
Does this now? So you obviously this is your sport. Does that make sense to you in casting?
Maybe, yeah. It's funny. Does there need to be a John Daly movie? I don't think so, but okay.
I don't know.
It's an interesting story.
He has a very colored sort of
He
past.
battled with the alcoholism and
Big time, yeah.
So I mean, and the John Daly drink is an Arnold Palmer with vodka in it.
Yep. Mhm.
So you
Yep.
know, there's stories to be
Yeah,
told
there's
there.
stuff there. So the two-time Oscar nominee will produce and star in a movie covering the excesses, scandals, and athletic achievements of Daly throughout his career.
Who's directing this thing? If this is like an Adam McKay movie, I'm all on board.
You know what? I don't think it indicates in this story case. His yet to be titled John Daly movie will be, here you go, directed by Anthony Morris, who had directed Hotel Mumbai. So I didn't see Hotel Mumbai. So I
not
don't-
sure
I don't
about
know.
that.
But yeah, as far as him being able to pull off the role, yeah, Steve.
All right,
I think
okay.
it could be a good John Daly. Daly, the beer-chugging, roly-poly athlete known as the bad boy of golf, has been part of the PGA Tour since his debut in 1991. In his 31 years of being on tour, Daly has 5 career wins, including the PGA Championship, the Open Championship, and he finished third at the Masters in 1993. In 2004, he was named the PGA Tour's Comeback Player of the Year, rocketing up the world golf rankings. As intriguing as the news of Hill playing Daly may be, though, it could be overshadowed by another high-profile biopic starring the Superbad actor. He is also set to play Jerry Garcia
Yeah.
I think that's very appropriate casting.
in the upcoming Apple TV Plus biopic helmed by Martin Scorsese, who, of course, directed him in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Is
So
he still on board to play former First Lady Pat Nixon?
I think that is in talks.
Okay, because that's
right now.
that again is going to be another stretch.
That's incredible
I think.
range,
That,
though,
that
man.
is range, though.
Yeah.
You got to give him credit for that.
And then one more story. Let's see. Variety reports that Natalie Morales is joining season 3 of The Morning Show. She will recur as Kate Danton, Stella's best friend from Stanford. So she's been added to that cast. All right, clips. Let's do them. Best friend Sophie and Agatha find their bond put to the test when they are whisked away to a magical school for future fairy tale heroes and villains in the School for Good and Evil. Here, creator Soman Chainani talks about Chainani, it says here, talks about his background in fairy tales. Here we go.
I grew up a Disney baby. So I knew all those stories by heart, but then I went to college and ended up sort of by chance in this fairy tales class. And I thought we were going to learn the Disney versions because I thought Disney invented all these stories. You learn the original stories and you're like, these stories are so rich and dangerous and provocative, and the evil guy wins half the time and the good guy, and there's an edge to it.
Shut the up, huh?
We're looking at clips. It looks pretty cool. Visually, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
so.
if you take a lot of the foundational stories that ended up becoming beloved Disney stories, you'll find out they're really much darker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of those fairy tales have some pretty nasty details to them. School for Good and Evil is available for streaming on Netflix now. Here's our next clip. The Peripheral. In this, a woman discovers a secret connection to an alternate reality as well as a dark future of her own. In this clip, star Chloe Grace Moretz speaks highly of the show's costumer.
One of the things that she really fed into in the book and really brought to the show is that everyone can fabricate their own outfits in the future. You can literally create anything in 3D print and just completely create your wardrobe. So there's a lot of mixtures of different eras and textures, and it's very interesting.
I had 3 times.
So they can accommodate that in the future.
Yeah.
If
You need
wanna make
pants
your own clothing.
that will hold 3 balls.
Yeah. Do you have any slacks that would accommodate a third nut?
The Peripheral Season 1 will be released on Prime Video tomorrow, by the way, if you'd like to see that. All right, there you go. It's your entertainment report. All right, we're going to take a break because we got a lot to get to today. Ari Shaffir is going to be performing at Helium Comedy Club, is going to be stopping by this morning. Our buddy John Brazier of the Phils getting us ready for Game 3 tomorrow back here in Philadelphia.
Oh, boy.
So it's a good thing to have John by because they usually win after we talk to John. And also, you who loot, don't forget your opportunity to win $1,000 coming up twice alone in the morning show today. I would like to give away, though, as we take a break, caller number 14, a case of Headhunter IPA from Fathead, 215-263 WMMR. Available in both 6-packs and 12-packs, and you can also enjoy it as part of Fathead's new IPA Variety 12-pack. Pick up some in your nearest Acme or craft beer retailer. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
You know, I kind of notice these things.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, because...
Around the corner, down a dark alleyway, across an empty field. He is the noticer.
This one
Nothing gets past Preston Elliott.
This one
the
I
noticer.
I
On
noticed.
the Preston and Steve show.
All right. This one I
6
noticed
to 11.
because Steve said it to me.
All right.
Human
Steve
beings,
sent this to him.
we as human beings get turned on by many things. Most commonly, we're turned on by other people that
Yes.
we are sexually attracted to.
And animals.
There are also people. What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. There are also people who are turned on by inanimate objects. I've mentioned that stuff on the Bizarre File before.
Hence people marrying the Eiffel Tower.
But this I've never seen. There are certain women who are turned on by themselves.
Oh
Gee,
my
I
gosh.
wonder where a woman like that might exist. Where a woman who would find themselves so beautiful, they would get aroused. It seems almost impossible that such a woman would exist.
Yep. They
What are you saying?
They stare at themselves in the mirror and they think, I'd like to tap that ass.
Well, yeah, but then you don't actually get turned on, right?
No, these people do.
Well, we don't, but you do.
According to...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So beautiful.
I'd hit that.
According to Dr. Michael Aaron, a New York City therapist and author of Modern Sexuality, The Truth About Sex and Relationships, it's extremely common for a woman to be sexually attracted to herself, and it is called auto-sexuality or autoeroticism.
Yes, so just the visual is enough to get this type of person worked up to the point of being orgasmic?
Well, no, not they're not going to stare at themselves and actually have the orgasm, but it will turn them on.
What about a person who wants to vomit whenever they see themselves in the mirror?
They didn't cover that.
Myself.
Is that you?
Yeah.
In this study.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And as vain as it sounds to want to have sex with yourself because you're so hot, it's not narcissistic, apparently.
Because it's true.
The doctor said it's very common for people to be aroused by themselves to varying degrees. Some experience it more like an orientation in that they feel more aroused by themselves than by others.
So do they use themselves as a benchmark to compare other people to? In other words, will they not? Does someone have to exceed their own level of beauty to warrant a physical encounter?
I don't know. Another psychologist explains the easiest way to tell if someone is autosexual is from their self-pleasuring habits. If she's picturing herself and thinking about how sexy she is when she's doing that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Is that how you do it, Kathy?
Stop
She's
it.
obviously an autosexual.
Do you think are you thinking of yourself mostly when you're going at it? I'm asking in the most clinical of ways. We're gathering data here. When
listen.
you are there, when you're upstairs, when you've got the device, when it's plugged in properly, you have it in the power strip so it doesn't short out.
Need a surge protector.
Right, or a surge protector. How do you see yourself dressed in your mind?
God, I'm not answering you, but listen, I do think this is very bizarre.
Yeah? They said it's more common than you think. It says if you think you're dating an autosexual, you're probably not, though. It says, according to the original definition of the word by ego analyst Dr. Bernard Affelbaum, an autosexual is someone who has a great deal of trouble responding to someone else sexually, but can respond fairly or very well to his or her own touch.
Have you ever made love to yourself thinking of yourself?
No.
Yeah.
Not that I
I've
know
made love
of.
to myself thinking of you.
Oh.
Yeah. And we have to talk.
We do have to talk. No. That's, how is I don't even see how that's possible, but some people apparently
Would someone like this spend a lot of time looking at themselves in the mirror?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that is definitely part of it. So.
Well, I don't know who would be like that.
Continuing on the sexual.
More stuff from the sexual world.
Yeah.
The noticer notices everything, even sexual stuff.
All right, this other thing I noticed, and this speaks to a few of the people here in this room.
This speaks to people in this very room.
It does.
The noticer has no pity on you.
Who here does not shower in the morning?
Me.
Nick and Casey.
I don't shower. I shower at night.
Nick, Casey, and Kathy are disgusting.
Marissa, you shower in the morning. No, you're showering right now.
She's a pig. They're all pigs except for two people.
She's pointing down. No, you shower at night?
She cleans everything but a cooter.
Ew.
Oh, my
That's wretched.
I thought
No,
that's what you
shower
meant.
at night.
She showers at night as
She
well.
showers at night. Okay, so Steve, you and I are the only morning shower people.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently...
Morning shower people, shower every morning, it's true. Morning shower people, shower for me and for you. It just seemed like a song, didn't it?
A folk song?
Yeah.
Is there a night shower people song?
Night shower people.
That's very similar.
Arrive at work very smelly. Kathy, Nick, and Casey, and little Marissa, too. They all smell so bad, we can hardly take it.
I like when I get up early enough to shower in the morning. I just don't, and I prefer to get that extra 20 minutes of sleep in the morning, and that's why I'll shower.
If you
at
take
night.
a shower before you go to bed, you're fine unless you're a sweat ball. But to me, I use it as much for waking up as I do for anything else.
All right, so tell us what
Morning
is
shower people.
Morning shower people, shower every morning.
All right, so a recent article at time.com extols perhaps the single best virtue of evening showering. noting that if you want to improve your sleep, showering at night may be the way to go.
Well, guess what? And this is going to be a surprise. I shower at night as well.
I know you do. And in the morning.
Experts say there's evidence that a night shower can help you drift off.
All right, do you...
Night shower, night shower. We all have to take one. Every night shower, night shower.
Grab me for the loofah. Get me in the shower.
All right, what were you were about to say?
I was going to ask if you shower fully.
Night shower, night shower.
You do that better than anybody,
Thank
Steve.
you. I got my higher end back.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Case?
Do you fully shower both times?
At night and
I
in the
do
morning.
military showers. I have no hair.
Yeah.
That cuts down on a lot of it. However, I at night I take a hot shower, a quick hot shower. In the morning I take a wake up shower.
Okay.
I don't know why I just enjoyed you saying, I have no hair.
It's the goddamn truth.
I just have no
In case you haven't
hair.
noticed, the same way Kathy pleasures herself to herself.
Oh my God.
I have no hair.
Do you guys ever wash your pubes with shampoo?
Oh my God.
Every day. Why?
With shampoo you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Not
I do
soap?
No, toothpaste.
When I'm washing my hair,
You then go downstairs.
I have soap in my hand, so
Right.
use it on your pubes.
He's got soap in his hands.
Use
For
it
his
on the
nads,
tubes.
he's got soap in his hands. For his nads.
This is getting ridiculous.
We had 3 hours of sleep last night.
And there are real musicians in the green room listening to this.
They probably have
I don't think they're listening.
We may be inspiring a new song
napping.
from Dorothy. Bedazzled Shimmer takes time. La La Land star Emma Stone was the belle of the ball at the Oscars, winning Best Actress, and she's absolutely looking the part. You go back and see the photos, thanks to some seriously hardworking fashion folk. Stone's stylist, Petra Flannery,
That's who I use.
tells people that her custom Givenchy haute couture gown, custom made by Riccardo Tisci, took a mind-boggling 1,700 hours to make.
Oh,
Wait a second. Okay.
my God. Wait, I mean, you guys don't like to talk about this fashion stuff, but
I do.
had the best dress on at the Oscars. She looked gorgeous.
She did look gorgeous. But Kathy, I thought it was a really beautiful gown, but 1,700 hours.
Well, if you, I mean, there was all kinds of beads on it. The bottom was fringe. I mean, that's all handmade. You know, that's all done by hand.
All right, Miss Fashion Maven here. She also had a lot of the of glitter. It appeared glitter in her makeup. Mm-hmm. Did you notice, like around the eyes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that stripper glitter thing still happening?
Well, I think that she did it a little bit more glamorously, not
Okay.
so I wouldn't
Not
call
like a
it stripper glitter. But she looked great. Whatever she did, she looked gorgeous.
Do you think she's I mean, because Preston, that's your style there.
Yeah,
porcelain skin, red hair.
I think she is pretty. I think, once again, some people make her to be this stunning goddess. I
Right.
just think she's very pretty.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and she looked good.
Riccardo Tisci says it took over 1,700 hours and a team of 11 from the Givenchy atelier. He said it's a beaded wonder. When you see it up close, it's a marvel of various golden color shapes and sizes.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
You get closer, it's like, oh my God, it's the Ark of the Covenant. I get weak in the knees. How alien is that world to us?
Oh, my God.
We can't even say the names of the places or the designers. I don't know it. I don't know who these people are.
I don't know. I think you'd do great as a commentator on the red carpet.
Yeah. I mean, who's the guy from Fashion
Yeah.
Gunn? Tim Gunn?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Oh, you dominate.
No, I don't know. I can look and say, oh, you look nice in that, or that looks like crap.
That's pretty.
Pretty much.
I can
it.
see
Yeah.
your boobies.
Yeah. By the way, I finally saw Amy Adams.
Yo.
Holy God.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not that really busty, but she sure looked like it in her dress.
Who looked? Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Did you see Brie Larson?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That was nice.
That's our commentary. Preston, check out the kids. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should be you're at the beginning. We don't even have the microphones. We're just yelling down the. Oh. No.
Yeah.
She's coming your way.
She's coming your way. Nips. Nips. What? Nips.
You guys have been kicked off the red carpet so fast.
Brie Larson showing nip.
Steve, the grade scale would be how many of those Marky Mark pals we throw out. I give it 4 pals, man. Yeah. That would be it. Pow! Pow!
Now that's red carpet coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Steve, like on the other end.
Hey,
Which one?
Brie Larson. Ryan Gosling's sister.
Yeah.
Huge kids. I hear you. I'm waiting.
He's yelling over her. Yeah, she's on the way down.
Right here.
The Preston and Steve studio is the arena where the invincible men of Chichi cooking skills await their challenge. Using all their senses, skills, creativity, and succulent delights such as ramen noodles, canned chicken, and Doritos, the Iron Chichi chefs will prepare new, original Chichi never tasted before. Reputations are on the line in the Preston and Steve studio where the Chichi chefs pit their garbage bag creations against one another. What inspiration do our challengers bring? The heat is on. Who will be the Iron Chichi chef?
Wow. All right.
Love it.
And by the way, the winner of the competition will get the coveted Golden Shiv Award. That is correct. Which we have in the corner. Now, to paint the picture, our studio has been completely done up to mimic a prison. So we actually have bars on the windows. We have our various cell blocks, which are numbered and lettered. And we also have what you can and cannot do. There are some rules on the walls as well. In fact, it says privileges. You are entitled to food, clothing, shelter, and medical attention. Anything else? Right. Thank you, Marissa. I have a few things to tell you guys about, so I think it's time for the stream of consciousness.
Oh, I love the stream of consciousness nerd.
It's seemingly unrelated items rattled off in a stream of consciousness type of delivery.
And I find it much more entertaining when it's wrapped in a fictitious sort of bubble.
Yeah.
By the way, have you ever let your mind wander in a stream of consciousness
Yes,
and just seen where it goes?
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Do you know
man.
where I had it happen in the in the salt float?
Yeah. In those sensory
right?
deprivation.
And I was at a Halcyon facility, the one in Roxborough, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah. It's kind of like how I I don't go to mass a lot, but
when you do,
but when I do, and when I pray, it's kind of how I pray. I kneel and I just kind of go and I start with like my initial family, and then whoever enters my mind is who I pray for.
They're flying squirrels?
No, it's not like that, but it's almost like there's a line of people in my subconscious. And like I'll just be praying, and then for some reason like JoJo, our friend JoJo, I'm like, I guess I'm praying for JoJo now, and then Jackie Bam Bam just stepped up. You know, it's weird.
I'm Colonel Harlan Sanders. What are you doing here?
Pray for Colonel Sanders.
But it will happen like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Please take care of Colonel Sanders and his recipe of 11 herbs and spices. And then stream of consciousness, though, would lead you down. I wonder what all spices are in
That's
there.
what it is.
And then those spices, how do they make spices? You know, and blah, 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 blah.
You actually have a regimented.
Yeah.
It's just stuff that indiscriminately comes to you, which is what this segment is about. Look, we just burned up a few minutes.
Exactly. There you go, right there. All right, so I thought this was kind of interesting. A new study suggests that Neanderthals formed small, tight-knit communities where females may have traveled to move in with their mates.
Oh, do you still have my garden shears? I don't know where the hell I put them. And I'm trying to keep the pterodactyls from attacking me.
There was a Daily Rush video of us, Steve, of us just like hooting and acting like Neanderthals.
Right.
Oh, I think I remember.
What was it?
I think it was like when we, the time that we were in the company of Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, yeah.
You just turn into a total Neanderthal.
Literally standing behind her, picking bugs out of her hair. Yeah. There was nothing that we could draw that was any sort of linear line between Kate Beckinsale and us. That we couldn't identify the species. There seemed to be no uniformity to that.
The research used genetic sleuthing to offer a rare snapshot of Neanderthal family dynamics, including a father and his teenage daughter who lived together in Siberia more than 50,000 years ago.
I want to go to the cave.
Researchers were able to pull DNA out of tiny bone fragments found in 2 Russian caves.
Yeah.
In their study, published Wednesday in the Journal of Nature, they used the genetic data to map out relationships between 13 different Neanderthals and get clues from how they live. So now when they come across this stuff, they can do these DNA studies and find out a little bit more about them.
Do you know that's resulted in actually a sort of an overall readjusting of the way we perceive the Neanderthal? And as you said, these family units, and many of them had very elaborate stock portfolios.
Steve, and if you're on 23andMe, it might say, 1500th cousin removed, Gorg.
Yeah, exactly. Take it all the way back.
Yeah. Our ancient cousins, the Neanderthals, lived across Europe and Asia for hundreds of thousands of years. They died out around 40,000 years ago, shortly after our species, the Homo sapiens, arrived in Europe from Africa.
I wonder, so they've hypothesized when, if there was any point, and the common thinking is that there was not, but where there was a potential crossover, but I don't know. It seems unlikely if you're talking evolution.
Yeah. So I was trying to, and follow me here, I was trying to explain relativity to my
Colonel Harlan Sanders.
Colonel Harlan Sanders the other day. No, to my daughter the other day. It actually might have been my son, but regardless, it was relativity in relative to time and size. And now with this story, I'm thinking about relativity in terms of attraction, because we could never find right now. You don't look at a Neanderthal and go, "Yeah, I tap that."
That's not true. I was in the mall and one was coming out of Sephora.
Oh my God! I forgot the mascara.
I'd tap that.
Yeah,
I'd tap that big bony ass.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your point you're trying to make, Casey? Oh wait, yeah, here.
So your point is that
evolutionarily speaking, as far as and relatively speaking, there was a part of me that we come from Neanderthals. I want to found we're here for a reason.
Let's go back to the Jason Sudeikis salad thing.
Yeah. Are you? What are you trying? What do you boil it down to?
Well, we don't come from Neanderthals.
No, we don't.
We come from
Homo sapien.
Right. So we're different. We're a different species.
Well, then never mind.
So you
I
probably
stand corrected.
wouldn't want to have sex with a Neanderthal.
Why don't I want to bang a Chihuahua?
Well, then let's go to cavemen.
I just said that. I said they died out after around 40,000 years ago, shortly after our species, the Homo sapiens, arrived in Europe from Africa.
Hi, how you doing? We're the new species. You guys did a great job, a bang-up job, if I will. But your time is gone.
All right, well,
we're
then
going to be less likely to eat our own poop.
I mean, in theory, I guess you could go slumming for it. If you're at a bar one night and you're gonna go for a subspecies,
dude, look,
tap a Neanderthal.
Look at that Neanderthal at the end of the bar.
I bet she's easy.
Your junk smells like Neanderthal.
All right, well, apply my theory to early Homo sapiens.
Humans?
Then. Yeah.
That you would not find attractive because of evolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, I got you.
Yeah. But back in the day.
Yeah, back then you would want it. Nowadays, probably not.
All right.
Thank you.
We really got to the heart of that issue.
So anyhow, scientists have sequenced 18th Neanderthal genomes. It's rare to find
There's
bones.
patzones and genomes.
It's rare to find bones from multiple Neanderthals from the same time and place.
I wonder where that is.
One of the authors said if there was ever a chance to find a Neanderthal community, this would be it. The caves have been a rich source of materials from stone tools to fossil fragments, with the prime view of migrating herds in the valley below. Researchers think the caves might have served as short-term hunting stop for the Neanderthals. This is in Siberia. Archaeologists excavating the caves have found remains from at least a dozen different Neanderthals. These remains usually come in small bits and pieces, a finger bone here, a tooth there, but they're enough for scientists to exact valuable DNA details. extract. The researchers were able to identify a couple of relatives among the group. Along with the father and daughter, there was a pair of other relatives, maybe a boy and his aunt or a couple of cousins. Overall, the analysis found that everyone in the group had a lot of DNA in common, and that suggested at least in this area, Neanderthals lived in very small communities of 10 to 20 individuals.
That's pretty wild.
But not everybody in the group would stay put. Researchers this is the interesting part. They looked at other genetic clues from mitochondrial DNA, which is passed down on the mother's side, and the Y chromosome, which is passed down on the father's side. The female side showed more genetic differences than the male side, which means females may have moved around more. And it's possible that want to
do a little swapping tonight?
A female Neanderthal found a mate, she would leave home to live with his family.
There we go.
So she would leave the group.
The mate would depart from the family to go live with someone else.
Yeah.
Like Olivia Wilde.
Which is a big deal. Yeah. Figuring out how early humans lived is like putting together a puzzle, the author said, where we have many, many missing pieces. But this study means that somebody's dumped a bunch more pieces on the table.
So there have been a tremendous amount of adjustments to the perceptions of Neanderthal. The fact that they lived in communities like this, that would be one of them. We always kind of heard that they were loners.
And you got to figure that, like, there's no agriculture, right? So they're just
They had to go buy all their stuff.
Right, yeah. There were not many grocery
have
stores.
avocados. Hopefully one day there'll be a point in time where they'll just hand them out for free.
A Neanderthal can dream.
No, but you know what? As much as we believe, so this is all supposition.
Mm-hmm.
So based on what they believe the indicators are, but we can only know so much.
Yeah,
and
you
so
can
much
only-
of it is guessing.
Yeah, you can only take the clues and make deductions from that.
We know there's nothing before 5,000 years ago.
Right, there was nothing before 5,000 years ago. No, but anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. So they found that these groups lived in groups of 10 to 20.
And had some type of primitive version of a square dance.
Sure, yeah. All right.
Remember, there was, what was the one where they got completely wrong? They actually had the bone fragments of 2 or 3 different creatures in proximity, and the paper, everything was done and released in this.
They thought it was one.
They thought it was
the same thing.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no, I don't remember
Yeah.
that. That's interesting. All right, let's see. Stream of consciousness, sir. Well, it was apparently Rambo mania in the town of Hope, British Columbia, as stars from the film, their family members, and fans gathered to celebrate the 40th anniversary of one of the most iconic action movies of all time last weekend. The District of Hope, which is a town with a population of less than 7,000, situated amid the Cascade Mountains around 2 hours east of Vancouver, doubled as the fictional town of Hope in Washington State for the 1982 movie. Filming for the Sylvester Stallone classic began all the way back in November 1981 and lasted until the following April.
I didn't realize they shot that in Canada.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
They the scene towards the end where they're the helicopter is out chasing him. It is just the cliffs and all that stuff is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I want what they want. Poutine.
You got to figure Rambo has a little Neanderthal blood in him, right?
Absolutely,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I play with my own spore.
He would eat things that make a billy goat puke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that the Rambo in First Blood is different, a lot than Rambo, than the second movie.
Yes,
on some level, he's just a regular. Well, he's a regular guy, obviously, but yeah, it's a different kind of character.
Yeah, and he when he arrives in that town, he's going to meet a friend from the war.
Where are your museums?
And he's apparently dead, and then he catches, and he's distraught by that because that's the last one of his group that had died, and apparently he died like of Agent Orange poisoning or something like that. And then Brian Dennehy's character starts coming down on him. It just puts him into this shutdown, almost mechanical-like mode, mechanism mode.
To Stallone's credit, what they did is when they had the movie for the script for First Blood, he said this isn't going to work. There was apparently like a voiceover narration in the original script, and he eliminated tons of lines from the movie.
That's a good call.
Yeah, to keep him sort of this enigmatic feral creature.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a great movie.
I think it's solid.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's got a couple of moments that are like, all right, that's
Give him a leg.
Yeah,
but he levels that town.
Yeah.
There is, by the way, because I watched it recently. At the end, I loved it. But this movie, this song, has words to it. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, there's like lyrics to this.
No.
Okay.
We need to find that if that is indeed the case. It's not.
Body bags, you're gonna need them. Body bags, you're gonna want them.
It's not Stallone singing, is it?
No.
Because he has sang.
My name is Luca.
He has sang end credit songs before.
Oh, he sang the theme song to Paradise Alley.
Was that it?
Which is horrible. We might have it in the system, but that's when he entertained the notion of being a singer.
I think the song, from what I remember,
I Will Fix You?
No, there's a long road.
Is that what it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what stands out to you?
Yeah.
There's a long road, and I'm walking it right now.
You walking on sunshine?
I'm walking on sunshine. Katrina and the Rambos.
He's got a 50 caliber slung on his shoulder as he sees.
I'm walking on sunshine.
He's sashaying down the road with his 50 cal hanging on his shoulder. Sorry, it just happens. So Brian Dennehy's grandson, William Lancaster. Los Angeles with his family for an event said, we felt this was just too good an opportunity to pass up. There was something so moving, endearing, and sincere, and also wacky and crazy about it that we were like, let's go do it.
It's wonderful, but if you look at the pictures of a lot of people who are participating, they're dressed as Rambo from the second or third film.
Yeah.
And they're not dressed as Rambo from First Blood.
Yeah. So
not to be picky about it.
Yeah.
Dennehy passed away in April 2020 at the age of 81. His daughters, Elizabeth and Kathleen, were also present. So it was nice for
That
his
is
family.
nice.
In total, around 3,000 people showed up for the anniversary celebrations. It was always unlikely that Stallone himself would show up for the event.
There's going to be free face painting for the kids.
Let's see here.
Pony rides.
They had
funnel cakes.
During the celebrations, Hope
Balloons.
Mayor Peter Robb christened a street in the town after the movie, calling it Rambo Lane.
Oh, wow.
Rambo Lane.
The street is where the climax
Was that Penny Lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rambo Lane, the Barbie shaves another customer.
Shave him
and then
dry.
I blow up his building from below.
Remember when they wouldn't let him shave him in First Blood? He's a big boy.
Rainbow shaves another customer. He cuts his head off with a big hunting knife.
Shoots his gun across the street at a local bank. And another highlight saw a tank drive over a car, smashing and flattening it.
The town seemed like a logging town in the movie. What did they say what the primary industry of that town is?
No. They didn't. But other highlights included Rambo paintball and Rambo karaoke.
Oh, wow.
As well. So he would have sang a song, I would imagine, got up on the mic and...
First I was afraid. I was petrified.
That's what he said.
What? Okay.
What the hell?
There are a lot of females of all ages here. Fans are tons of fans of this franchise.
Do you think Rambo has survived generationally? I think it's more of a time where Rocky maybe has.
I agree with
Robbie
you.
has more legs.
I agree. Yep.
He's got legs. He's got legs.
Yeah.
They offer a self-guided walking tour of the Rambo movie.
Okay.
I think I might do that.
Visit spots where sheriff picks up Rambo on Water Avenue.
Okay.
And where he flees the police.
Do they still do the? For a while, there was a group that was doing a movie tour similarly to this
In Philadelphia. Hitting all the different films.
Right.
I think so. I
love stuff like that.
Probably check tours by locals. Most cities have. If there's been movies like in Chicago, when we went there for the Hall of Fame, I looked into a Ferris Bueller tour.
Right, John Hughes.
And so you can find when there's been multiple movies shot in the city, usually there's a tour that you can find via tours by locals. Hey, here is the Rambo song.
All right.
With the lyrics. Here we go. This is the end of.
Movie into a song.
Sometimes they do that. I hate it.
Right?
There
So I
was
came to this town,
Sheriff was mean.
tried to cut my hair. Did not like that.
All right. Stream of consciousness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Rambo thing happened. We're moving on.
You're better than that.
A Colombian professional football player flashed his male member in the middle of a match to distract the opposition from kicking a goal.
Is that a viable tactic?
No, I don't think so. Santa Fe defender Gison Pereira went viral for his attempt to defend a free kick from Jaguars de Cordoba player during the Colombian First Division match on Monday. So the Union have a game.
Well, hang on.
In the
Did
playoffs.
Did it work?
You know what? It didn't say in the story whether it
Did he get carded?
kept him from scoring or not, or whether he received a penalty. I don't know. But that is an interesting tactic on trying to distract someone.
Sometimes, it'll occur. You'll watch a football game or something, and they'll pull out this tactic that you sure has to be against the rules, and it's not accommodated in the rules.
We're looking at a picture. That's the guy on the left. Pulling his Johnson out.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a dude at the Phils game last night behind home plate, and this was in the later innings, but he kept lifting his shirt up and smacking his belly, trying to get to distract the Phillies pitchers.
You know what? Watching the games, and now that once you get to postseason, things heighten. The activity of the crowd starts to really become, as opposed to just sitting and be passively watching.
Yeah.
So I'm watching closer behind home plate to see what's going on there. And when you're like, the Phils have the red towels here.
Right.
And when there's two strikes, they start, swinging those around. And I'm wondering if that visibly, behind the
Are there rules
plate,
concerning that? In other words, can a team request if, as in the stands, there is somebody that is going to outlandish
I've seen it
levels
before.
where
I've
they
seen it, yeah.
eject a spectator?
I think specifically behind home plate,
Yeah.
I've seen people be talked to stop whatever they're doing.
Like if it's egregious or something like that, obviously no laser pointers or anything, but the guy smacking his belly is probably fine. 2 nights ago in game 1, Bill Walton was sitting behind home plate, and I couldn't stop staring at that dude's teeth.
Oh my God.
He had his hee-haw teeth pointing out, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I kept staring at Bill Walton instead of watching the goddamn game.
I saw that guy. Wasn't there a girl a few years ago that was like a really busty chick?
Yeah.
Was that at Flyers
Morgana,
games?
there was-
right?
It happens all over the place.
Yeah.
But Steve, behind free throw lines, they do that all the time. But
Right.
they always wait until after halftime to do it because.
In that case, I wonder, and you talk about rules that may be on the books that nobody employs. Could somebody
Why after halftime?
complain?
No, because that's after halftime the teams switch nets that they shoot on. So I guess the they don't have faith in the fans that they wouldn't be smart enough to not, wave those rally sticks while our own team is shooting a free throw. That's what I personally think.
I mean, go ahead.
Oh, you just reminded me that I forgot to get my free Frosty on Monday because the Eagles held the Cowboys to a scoreless first quarter.
Okay. But yeah, so they have that. But also for baseball players, Steve, if you notice every dead center, dead center field has to be barren. There can't be anything because it's a distraction for the hitter. So
Yep.
I did notice that.
Like they had bleachers in St. Louis at the old Busch Stadium, and you couldn't sit there during baseball games.
Yeah.
For football games, yes, you could sit there.
There's a section in Fenway where in night games fans are allowed to sit, in day games they are not because for whatever reason.
Where's that section?
In center field.
Oh,
And
okay.
so to the right, if you're at home plate and to the right of Green Monster, there's a section where day games it's not open and night games it is, or vice versa. But
That is pretty wild.
It's an old stadium, so that's why. But every other ballpark has that I stop in center field.
Okay. Thought that was interesting. What else?
Know that.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I didn't know that.
All right, so listings for Jeffrey Dahmer costumes on eBay are being pulled this Halloween season.
Yeah, I figured eventually they'd get to that.
Yeah, the website has put a ban on Dahmer costumes because they violate his policy on violence and violent criminals. A surge of listings for Dahmer-related costumes hit the website in the aftermath of the Netflix series Monster, which, of course, stars Evan Peters. By the way, I didn't know this. Monster now trails only Stranger Things 4 as the streamer's most watched English language original series.
Yep, it is.
I didn't know it was that
huge.
popular.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching it, and I'm not can't wait to see more of this. I think it's okay. Yeah.
And I've seen documentaries that I would classify as riveting, and obviously they're using real footage. I agree. It's just okay.
I mean, it's
think
messed up. I mean, without question.
Yeah. Once people hear Jeffrey Dahmer, they're so fascinated because I remember how the actual story was unfolding. People could not believe that he was living in a residential building with neighbors that close and the stench and all that stuff, and his modus operandi. But that's what's fueling the heavy numbers on this.
Yeah, and I think it's hitting a generation of people who were not alive when it was happening.
Yeah.
Like, I barely remember it. Like, I just remember it being part of pop culture. I don't remember it happening as it was coming out.
There is a scene, though, that really grossed me out big time where he drinks blood.
Yeah.
And
God, yes.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, my God, that's repulsive.
And that was a slower night for him.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That was he hadn't even killed anyone.
Yeah.
This was he was working as a phlebotomist.
I did read that scene was dramatized.
Okay.
That was one of the few scenes that was
As
extra
in-
dramatized. Like, he didn't
That never happened?
he didn't cut it open and pour it all over himself like they had in the scene.
So anyhow,
he just had testicle kebabs.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. What do they call
Can you
cow
rotate
testicles?
those? Yeah. Oh, I don't remember.
Rocky Mountain oysters?
Thank you. Yes.
One Dahmer-related costume on eBay that was removed directly related to the Netflix series, as it was a mask of Evan Peters as the character, or as Jeffrey Dahmer.
So listen, you remember how popular the OJ masks were, right? Right after the murders. And there have been, I've seen John Wayne Gacy masks and stuff. I bet you could probably find them up on eBay. I just think there's a lot of attention on this right now.
Yeah, quite possibly.
different.
So, all right. Anyhow, Case, do I have time for one more, or do we need a break?
I think we need a break.
All right, because we have You-Who Loot coming up. All right, so sorry, stream of consciousness nerds shutting down right now.
Powering down.
Power down.
I'm gonna miss you.
You may fire at will.
Disengage engines.
Thank you. All right, here's what I'd like to do. We made this announcement yesterday. We had Brian Quinn on cue from Impractical Jokers, and the Preston and Steve Show presents Impractical Jokers Drive Tour Friday, February 3rd at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion indoors. And I will take caller number 16. And listen, if you are caller 16, each winner this week qualifies for our grand prize, a pair of meet and greet passes, and the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually introduce Q, Murr, and Sal to the crowd at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster. MMR VIPs go to WMMR.com for another chance to win a pair of tickets. But I think I said 16. Is that what I said? Yeah, 215-263. WMMR. Let's get you on. We'll come back in a second. Got some bizarre file stories and your opportunity at $1,000 when we get back. prison commissary setup, which is being guarded by a full-size Hannibal Lecter statue that we have in the corner. And he is holding the Golden Shiv Award.
Yes.
And listen, guys, just to be nice, we're also going to throw in a couple of other things. We have some toilet wine that we have over there in the corner. We have an actual toilet in the corner with a jug of wine in it. You'll win that too. And we'll also give you a $100 Visa gift card. So we have our three judges. We have Nick, Michael, and Joe. Let's now meet our contestants this morning, okay? And their intros are short as well. Let's welcome Iron Chichi, Tim, to the program. Tim.
What's going on, guys?
How are you, Tim?
Good. How are you?
Very, very good. Now, we're not going to go into the specifics of everybody's background and how they ended up where they ended up, but how long were you incarcerated?
3 months.
3 months. Okay, so a little bit of time, not a whole lot.
No, but you make a couple Chichis a day, so.
Okay.
So a couple of days. Now, Tim was assuring me, he said, emphatically said, don't dismiss this, basically. You're going to love the way this stuff tastes.
Really?
Correct, Tim?
I actually emailed Casey and I said I'd like to place a bet with everybody about them liking it because it is top notch, guaranteed.
All right. Yes. Do you still make it, even though you're
Not recently. When I first came home, I was making it like every day still. You kind of get used to it and the flavor. And
you miss it.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
So. All right. Well, that's Tim. Let's meet our next contestant, the second Iron Chichi. Welcome, Chris, to the studio this morning.
Thank you.
Chris, how are you?
Doing well. You?
Doing well. And for how long were you behind bars?
24 months to the day.
Wow.
To the day?
To the day.
Wow. So you didn't get out for good behavior then?
Nope.
Okay. But how's your Chichi?
It might be a little rusty. It's been a few years since I've been away on vacation, but it's all still here.
Vacation. No, Chris, the fact that you stepped away from it might breed a little bit more creativity and improvisation.
A little bit. I have been a cook for about 20 years. That was my main profession. And then,
So you're bringing that wealth of knowledge into your Chichi preparation.
A little bit.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, good luck to you. And let's go over to our final Iron Chichi. This is Mike, everyone. Let's hear from Mike.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you,
By the way, sorry for bothering you at work.
Oh, it's okay.
All right,
Sorry to bother you on parole.
That's been gone for a long time now. So.
Mike's actually wearing a prison T-shirt, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Mike, if you can turn around.
What is DWHCF?
George W. Hill. George W. Hill Correctional Facility.
No kidding.
That's a Delco. Yes. Delco, baby.
What pride. What pride.
Hold on, they sell T-shirts, or did you make that?
No. I kind of took it with me when I left, even though you're not supposed to.
So you robbed the prison.
You took something on the way out of prison.
You gotta have a reminder to not go back.
Yeah.
So.
But it's not a Marriott.
All right. So for how long were you away, Mike?
A little over 7 months.
Okay.
I did 3 different times. One was a weekend, one was 12 days, and the longest was just over 7 months.
But you had your Chichi experiences and your Chichi preparation skills are up to snuff?
I actually emailed Casey. I told him Chichis aren't even the best thing that they make there. So
Yeah, he said he was going to make a Stromboli.
Wow. They call it a wrap in Delco. It's a Stromboli in where Tim's from.
Okay.
All right. And by the way, these guys all sat in the lobby together for a little while, and so they were sharing stories. None of them served time at the same place. They were all 4 different places.
Perfect. Then we might get 4 different completely. Foods are they're just different regions.
Italian cuisine
that will give you different tastes. So maybe we'll experience that as well. Okay. Are you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
All right. Let's Iron Chichi head over to the commissary and get what ingredients you guys need. I see immediately that Tim is going for the cheese puffs and ramen noodles, and Mike seems to be still considering what he wants. Chris has grabbed a lot of macaroni and cheese.
We have enough for everybody of every ingredient. So
So I see Chris took all the ramen noodles.
There's more up there.
That's not right.
There's a whole nother.
That's good. They're sharing as you do in prison.
Yeah, not unlike Iron Chef. I mean, there's a pantry of items that you can go to. Now I see some Cheez-Its are being taken, or no, not Cheez-Its. Is that rice? I believe Tim has some minute rice, instant white rice.
Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, Cheese Whiz.
Refried beans.
Refried beans. Very good for that Mexican sort of flavor.
We have both Cool Ranch Doritos and regular Doritos.
Did you need beef ramens? Because that's top shelf right there.
Top shelf to
That is top shelf beef ramen right there, buddy.
What are the flavors of ramen we have, Casey?
Just beef and chicken.
Okay.
And did everybody? So everybody has the ramen. Did everybody grab a summer sausage? Is that the common ingredient?
I think they call it a beef stick, Casey.
Yeah, each person has grabbed one.
So they do have beef stick. Yeah.
Case, we know that at least one served in a Delaware County prison. Has anybody served in a Bucks County prison?
I think the rest of them, yeah.
Okay, because I would imagine that's going to be like a higher class Chichi.
Tim's
you know what I mean?
Tim's doing a fist pump.
Buckskull. All the way. I'm looking at Chris. He's got a technique where he's smashing up the cheese puffs inside the bag.
That seems like a common
it all break down so it's like a cheese sauce, no chunks.
Oh, okay, and you're going to mix that with the hot water?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, all right. So
we used to let it sit in the sink and run the hot water over it. That would be the insulation idea he's using, but we're gonna have to,
So there's
have to make it work.
very similar techniques being employed here, but a different selection of menu items, which I think is intriguing.
Oh, you know what? Preston had a question yesterday about smoking in prison. Is it illegal to smoke cigarettes, and do people smoke? Yeah. But you can smell it though.
I can only speak on Bucks, but it is illegal to smoke in Bucks County Jail. People do smoke in the jail. But
if it's an infraction, though, they can send you to jail, can't they?
That's the thing that sucks, is you might actually get arrested.
But, all right, so if you were to smoke, where would you smoke?
I'm not going to say that you empty the toilet out and then blow the smoke through the pipes and flush the toilet. But if I had to take a guess right now, that would be my assumption.
So the toilet is just not for pooping anymore.
Oh, not at all.
It's an oven.
It's an oven.
It's an aeration system.
It's a hot tub at times.
It's a hot tub.
You bored?
Prison sounds great.
Bucks is also known as Bucks County
Country Club.
There we go. She knows.
We have a ripped bag. We have a ripped bag.
We've got more bags. I bought 1,000 of them.
There is. There's a mess all over the place.
Chris is helping out Tim. Cooks are coming together.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. By the way, Tim, that looks disgusting.
But it smells so good.
Does it really?
I swear it does. Although I'm a little. Tim might have gotten some contraband.
Oh, really?
No. He snuck a packet of sugar over here.
Oh, no.
Casey,
That's allowed?
Sugar was allowed.
All right, that was one of the items. You can get that at the commissary. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put about a 10. What?
He called me a rat.
Snitches get stitches, bitch.
That's that golden shank.
Don't worry. Nick's already had the butt stuff. It's okay.
So, Mike, let's ask you about what our chefs are going to have here. If you were to describe this dish, what would you say about it?
It's basically like a poor man's mac and cheese.
A poor man's mac and cheese.
Okay.
Like if you took Frankenbeans and got rid of the beans part and made it with mac and cheese.
Okay.
Our judges, Nick Elmy, owner and head chef at Laurel, Michael Klein, who's been writing about food for a long time, and then Joe, who's actually done some time and had Chichi on several occasions. Nick, what do you think of our first creation from Mike here, the poor man's mac and cheese?
10 for presentation, if we're grading on 10.
Okay.
It's like you took ramen and dumped mac and cheese on top of it with some spicy sauce and some sausage. I don't know. I would like to know what the sodium count is.
This is disgusting. I mean, no disrespect, Mike. Good. But
You really sugarcoated it.
it doesn't seem like there's much to it. The ramen, you did get the ramen soft, which I'll give you credit for, but it's just, yeah.
It's just,
The presentation though was incredible.
Let's go over to Joe, the Chichi master. Joe.
All right. Well, from an inmate standpoint, it's pretty bad.
Okay. We want to get that perspective.
It's wet. It's super wet, and it's not.
Oh, that's right. You like it dry. You said that earlier. Okay.
Mine's pretty short and sweet. Never used the pickles before, so I just have the shredded cheese, some of the cheese whiz, beef stick, ramen, a little bit of hot sauce.
What do you think of this particular Chichi?
Again, it's super wet. This one, there's less taste. It's I'm absolutely convinced that I only ate this stuff because I was starving.
Have you ever had a salt lick?
Yeah.
You know what? With cheese. It's
a salt liquid cheese. That's what you're calling this. All right.
Were you in for assault?
Hey! Michael. Very good.
Sorry.
All right.
I do appreciate the added texture of what are those nachos at the end?
The little bit of the jalapeno chips I put on.
Perfect.
Just to
Love
take
it.
it over the edge a
Beautiful
little
touch
bit, a
right
little
at the
extra.
end.
Give it a
It
little
does taste like someone found noodles and put movie cheese on top of it. But I mean, it's yes, I like it a lot.
Okay, he likes it a lot.
Really? Those words came out of your mouth?
Chris, write that down. Nick Elmy of Laurel says, I like it a lot.
Tim is garnishing the dishes.
Yep, and Marissa is handing them out now. So we'll start this time. We'll let the judges sample this, and it definitely looks completely different than the others. The other ones definitely had a very moist consistency to them, a little bit on the runny side as well. This looks dry. And we'll let our judges get a quick taste, so it's going to be completely different.
Much different.
Yeah, in fact, it's dense. I'm actually this weighs a lot. All right, let's go to Michael Klein. You need a little bit more time on that, Michael?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
Keep eating, my guy. I got plenty more.
I actually like this one the best. It's, even though there's more texture to it.
Okay. And that helps out.
I think.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Nick Elmy next.
I'm actually going to agree with that. Like, wow. It has a very rice and beans kind of flavor to it.
Okay.
The Doritos on top are pretty good. It's, I mean, easily my favorite one.
Okay. And then let's go over to Joe. What do you think?
This is definitely the best one. So would you agree, Nick?
Yeah.
That it's definitely the consistency thing, right?
Yeah, it's a consistency thing.
All right. So it is. It's time. It's officially time to find out who our Iron Chichi champion of 2017, because we have to do this every year now.
I think so.
No, we gotta wait for some next people to get out of prison.
Let's go voting one at a time. We have Mike who went first, Chris was second, and
garnishing the dishes.
Yep, and Marissa is handing them out now. So we'll start this time. We'll let the judges sample this, and it definitely looks completely different than the others. The other ones definitely had a very moist consistency to them, a little bit on the runny side as well. This looks dry. And we'll let our judges get a quick taste, so it's going to be completely different.
Much different.
Yeah, in fact, it's dense. I'm actually this weighs a lot. All right, let's go to Michael Klein. You need a little bit more time on that, Michael?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
Keep eating, my guy. I got plenty more.
I actually like this one the best. I think. It's, even though there's more texture to it.
Okay. And that helps out.
I think.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Nick Elmy next.
I'm actually going to agree with that. Like, wow. It has a very rice and beans kind of flavor to it.
Okay.
The Doritos on top are pretty good. It's, I mean, easily my favorite one.
Okay. And then let's go over to Joe. What do you think?
This is definitely the best one. So would you agree, Nick? That it's definitely the consistency thing, right?
Yeah, it's a consistency thing.
All right. So it is. It's time. It's officially time to find out who our Iron Chichi champion of 2017, because we have to do this every year now.
I think so.
No, we gotta wait for some next people to get out of prison.
Let's go voting one at a time. We have Mike who went first, Chris was second, and then Tim was third. Let's start with Nick Elmy. Nick?
Yeah, I think Tim looks the most dangerous, so he wins.
All right. So we have one vote for Tim. Let's go to Michael Klein.
I'll go with Tim also.
And is it going to be a clean sweep, Joe?
It is.
Tim! ONLY, and you have until 15 minutes after the hour to enter that. 3 ways for you to do it. You can text the special contest short code number, which is 45911, or you can enter it via the MMR app or at WMMR.com, and one random entry wins $1,000 in our company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley. Make sure you answer your phone. Contest rules available at WMMR.com. It's all sponsored by Horizon Services. The word is only ONLY. So enter it now, and let's give you some money. Kathy's out today. We got Marissa with a look at traffic. Let's get to it. What's up this morning, Marissa?
Yeah, we're jammed on the 42 freeway. There is an accident. It's jammed before the Atlantic City Expressway. Also, 295, both directions is jammed leading up to it. 551 out to 42 on the northbound side, southbound from Woodcrest Station out to 42 freeway. In Pennsylvania, 95, southbound is slowing from Cottman to Bridge. Northbound from Chichester Avenue to 476. 76 eastbound from Boulevard to Vine. Westbound to Boulevard to Belmont. And in Delaware, 95 is reduced to one lane in each direction, and that's in 202 in that area. So a lot of backup there. This traffic report is brought to you by Mattress Warehouse of Philadelphia. Buy Warehouse Direct at Mattress Warehouse with over 30 queen mattresses for less than $7.99, plus 0% interest financing and free next day delivery. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, let's do B-File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Liberty Safes of New Jersey. Hurry in now for Big Fall savings. You can visit Liberty Safes of New Jersey in Mount Laurel or Bordentown. You can find them on Facebook or go to libertysafesnj.com. We'll start with a 12-year-old girl story. She was hospitalized Saturday after being struck by lightning.
Whoa!
While outside her home. Her heart stopped.
Oh.
But her father got to her immediately and performed CPR to resuscitate her. Kevin Foster works with burn and lightning strike patients and said that the girl's father and fire department were instrumental in saving her life. Steve Jorgensen was only 50 feet away from his 12-year-old daughter, Ella, when a bolt of lightning struck her as she was playing outside of her grandparents' home. Jorgensen, a Marine Corps veteran serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, used his years of training and performed CPR on his daughter 3 times, bringing her back to life each time. Isn't that wild?
So he was the right guy for that job, clearly.
Well, anybody who knew CPR, could have done it. But yes, and it took 3.
The skin graft from hot toast the other day.
She even told her father that she's excited to tell her friends what happened to her when she goes back to school.
Remember the dude we had in here who was hit by lightning? He had much more scarring down his body.
And it was wild looking. He showed it to us.
It was actually pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Foster said the main concern with lightning strike victims is the amount of electricity that comes in contact with the body. It often causes burns and cardiac problems and has enough force to launch the victim, which can result in further injury if the victim survives. He also says that damage to the nervous system is common, but this gal's going to be okay. A Lancaster County man has been charged with indecent exposure following an incident at an Ephrata convenience store.
These are my testicles.
So Jonathan Beck